You ready? Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Coffee with the Critters. Yay! Happy New Year. I'm ready for tomorrow because I wake up every morning now with the holidays not knowing what day it is. Am I doing Coffee with the Critters? No, not today. Today's Wednesday. Okay. Anyways, so for those of you that are new, my name's Laura Joseph, owner of the Animal Behavior Center. We are an international educational center where we teach people all across the world how to empower and work with the animals in their lives. We do that through our live streaming services, and we focus on positive reinforcement and applied behavior analysis. Good morning. Hey, everybody. I see people starting to come in. We have a lot going on here. We're going into 2019 with a bang. Good morning, everybody. Hey, Stacy. Hey, Chris. Hey, Susie. Tim. Good morning. We're going into 2019 with a bang. I need to stay extremely focused because every day I have a lot of work to do. And every time I say I'm going to take it easy today, I just learned not to even say that. Yesterday I worked 12 and a half hours, but you know what? I love what I do. It's hard for me to stop working. We've got a lot of training happening here, a lot of preparation for 2019. The calendar is booking so fast. So good morning. Hey, Shelly. Hey, Sandy. Hey, Adrienne. Jeannie. Katie. Jill. I wanted to start off by saying my travel schedule is very heavy through the spring. I hope to be taking you guys with me. I'm not sure about Coffee with the Critters next week because for those of you that are following the work that we do, a production company has reached out to us wanting one of our animals in an upcoming national commercial, and I'm not at liberty to say. All I'm allowed to say is that it is Rocky, our Moluccan cockatoo, and it will be airing in March. That's all I'm allowed to say. So I'm not sure if we're going to be on set next Sunday or what's happening. If I am on set next Sunday, I will see if I can do some type of Coffee with the Critters, maybe cocktails with the critters the night before. For those of you that know the work we do, our cocktails with the critters is usually Sunday night. Anyways, we'll see. Just all you have to do is pay attention to here on our Facebook page, the events section, and it'll let you know the next upcoming event. I am cramming to get ready for a two-day seminar I'm giving in Montreal that I'm taking off for on July 31st. So I'm putting that content together. When I get back, I think I'm home for a week, and then I take off for Key West. I already have Coffee with the Critters planned with Nancy Forrester down in Key West. I don't know, whatever that Sunday is. I don't know. Anyways, when I get back from that, then I'll be taking off to St. Xavier University, giving a presentation there the third week in March. That's down in Chicago. And then when I get back from that, we just planned, Karen, you don't even know this yet. Don't shoot me. Karen's our manager here, and she's on here. She's probably sitting there going, now what? We're going to be live streaming. I'll tell you, it's the third week in April, I believe, the third Sunday in April. We're going to be live streaming a workshop here where we've got some guests coming in. It will all be public. And then I've been working on something else, but I'm not sure it's going to happen this year because it's going to happen in May or June or October or November. And my October and November are pretty much already booked. There's Karen. Oh, boy. Susie, do you know if the commercial will be shown nationwide? Yes, it will be nationwide. Hello, Sam. Hello. 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 So yeah, okay. Let's see what's going on. All right. Karen, remind me to tell you what's going on in April. I got it started because of our level 1 membership. For anybody that's in there, might have a little heads up of what's coming up. So let's go ahead and I'm going to do like a little recap of the past week. But something I want to start off saying, Karen and I were talking about this last night. Over the past 2 weeks, the amount of people signing up for the projects and the memberships has been phenomenal. We've been having a hard time just keeping up with the signups. Anybody in here in level 1, level 2, the Parrot Project or the Pig Project, you know exactly what I'm doing because I introduce them. I tag them in an introduction, and it's right now, I mean, it's a huge compliment to Karen and I, and we were talking about this last night, how it's very overwhelming emotionally for her and I in a good way because we've come so far. We'll be 6 years old February 21st. The Animal Behavior Center will be 6 years old on February 21st. And I just want to say thank you. So we're very excited. Anyways, if you want to find more about our projects or memberships, it's our live streaming services that we offer where we live stream our training, behavior concerns, tickle, enrichment, monthly Q&As, action-packed podcasts for learning on the go. I've got some interviews coming up that are scheduled in level 2 with professionals, and definitely in the Parrot Project. You are going to want to stay tuned to that interview. Peekaboo, Rocky. Anyways, and if for any reason you ever need to get a hold of me, yeah, Ray's in level 1 and in the Parrot Project as well. So is Bobby. You can, those guys are saying memberships signing up are over the moon. So thank you. Anyways, if anybody ever needs to get in touch with me about anything, you can always contact me on my email address, Lara, Lara, at theanimalbehaviorcenter.com. Right after this, at 1 o'clock this afternoon, I will be live streaming in level 1, a behavior consultation on resource guarding with a dog. So a recap of the past week is Daphne in here, by any chance? Usually Daphne's on here Sunday mornings. If you guys did not see last Sunday morning's Coffee with the Critters, you have to watch it. It was phenomenal. It was Daphne, Robert Hamilton, and myself. Daphne's a professional dog trainer out of the state of Washington, talking about resource guarding, what it is, what it looks like, things that make it worse, and how you can change and manage it and with numerous species. Thanks, Shelley. With numerous species, and it's not just dogs. We have resource guarding here we see it in all of our animals. I see it heavily at zoos, and it's not just with food, okay? So anyways, I can go into that, but why? When the whole Coffee with the Critters is there from last Sunday. You definitely want to watch that, and I want to give a shout out to Daphne. Thank you for coming on live with me. So last Sunday, after Coffee with the Critters, we were rushing around here to do a holiday open house where we open our doors maybe once a year to the public, maybe. And we bring people in, give a tour, show what we do, why we do. So we did some work with some different animals. Hello, Sam. Hi, Rocky. And hey, Brianna, good to see you on here. Yay. I'll be seeing you soon. Hi, Sam. Hello. Hello. Sam is a great mimicker. He responds to a lot of different things. Fabulous educator. Anyways, so we had an open house, a holiday open house last Sunday. I tried live streaming some of it, but here's some of the photos. This is Lisa Morgan, was here last week. Here we had Levi, and Cello definitely had to make his appearance. Hi, Sam. Hi, Sam. Hi, Sam. Okay, so this was cool to see. Hello. Cello making his appearance. This was a bird that when first came to us was hand shy. Anyways, one of the main reasons why I did. Hi, Sam. Hello. The holiday open house last week was because of this upcoming commercial. Hey, there's Daphne. Because of this upcoming commercial, I've been taking steps in shaping and training Rocky, seeing if he's ready for a large crowd, waiting to see if he's ready for cameras to be rolled and moved around him, big boom mics coming down, lights, camera action. So I'm shaping all of that right now. And what we're talking about, we just had a Q&A in level 1, which was phenomenal. Everything we do is about shaping. And I cannot put enough emphasis on it. So yesterday I started training Rocky to go into a larger unfamiliar crate. This is going to be his travel crate. We'll be on the road for a couple of hours. Okay, so I will be live streaming his training in the Parrot Project, probably starting today. And I'll catch you guys up to date with everything we've been doing and why we're doing it. So we had a group of maybe 30 people, and we all gathered around the grapevine in the center. And I was using applied behavior analysis, using environmental events to control behavior. And hey, Storm. And I was manipulating the environment to see when Rocky was calm, when he was not calm, when he was stressed. And when he was stressed was when the people were further away from him. So that was good. I was just like, noted, he's ready for a large crowd. So I asked everybody to gather in. Now, it's not the fact that this is a bird. What we do here is all about behavior. Okay, I'm just a little bird heavy because I can kind of like them a little bit. But I've got Milo here with me and Quincy out here with me in case you guys have questions, and I can do some live stream training for you this morning. But what we do here is we're always focusing on using environmental events to control behavior. Okay, so I can control Rocky's behavior by controlling the crowd. There he is. The crowd is the environmental event. It is me manipulating the environment to get the behavior I want. What I saw with Rocky was flat, tight feathers and getting ready to fly when everybody was standing closer towards the front of the center. So I asked them to move towards Rocky on the grapevine, and Rocky started standing up straight, started being more animated, but then I started seeing him focus on certain areas of the crowd. So this is me looking for environmental events because I'm using the crowd as the reinforcer. But now I need to get more specific. So I'm looking at what is he looking at? He's going to start screaming. What is he looking at? He was looking at the men. So then I would ask the men to come closer or back up so I could control Rocky's behavior. Then we started passing him around from person to person. He did phenomenal. And here's a woman, I can't remember if she had no bird experience or no bigger bird experience. So I set her up for success. An unpleasant encounter could punish her future behavior of wanting to know how to do better or understand birds better. So I needed to control environmental events to make this a pleasant experience. So I always tell people, put your arm at a 90-degree angle, because a lot of times you've got a big bird on your hand and that bird is standing like this tall right in front of your face. You want that bird, this is what people do. They tend to go like this and back up, and then that just gives the bird a straight shot to your shoulder. And once he's on your shoulder, I can't control him as much. I have less room to manipulate the environment. Hello? 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 Continuous schedule of reinforcement. Here's Lindsay, one of our volunteers, working with Rocky. There's Beth Peoples in the background for those of you in the memberships and the projects. Some of these faces may be familiar. Here's Rocky. I don't believe she had large bird experience either. I can't remember. So this is all shaping Rocky's behavior. Here's Lisa Morgan again, hopefully a potential future volunteer. She was here this week. Hi, Rocky. And then, then my screen freezes. And so maybe we'll just be stuck on this for quite a while. Okay, there it goes. So then I'm gonna, okay, I got one more photo to show, and then we'll move on to the Q&A. We're doing great work here. He's gonna start screaming. I told you he was gonna start screaming because I'm able to identify audible antecedents. Never had a firebird before. I don't even know what a firebird is. So anyways, last photo. Just because a lot of work we do here is off contact. Don't pay attention that that is a bird. That is an animal that you have to work off contact or protective contact. I know why that's happening. Because I've been doing all kinds of shaping and training with Rocky over the past 2 weeks. He's been getting higher amounts of attention, and I haven't given him much yet this morning. Hello. So here's Lindsay working with Coco off contact, getting him to move from point A to point B. And hi, Sam. Hello? Hello? Hi. Hello? Anyways, let me know if you guys want to see me get Sam out and get him up on top of the cage. That's what we've been live streaming in level 2, just because not a lot of people have a blind animal that happens to be fully flighted. I'd be more than happy to get him out this morning. He's used to getting out every morning and wandering around the top of a cage, and that's why he's sitting there going, hello, hello. So Coco is an animal that's afraid of sticks, and so we slowly shape this, desensitized, counter-conditioned, and I started first getting him stepping up onto a dowel to effectively move him. Remember, we were using a crate for a long period of time because he was afraid of sticks. Okay, so let's get started with our Q&A. How did everybody do over the holidays? Just reading your comments. Okay, Ginger has a question. Hello? I will always interrupt the content of the live stream to reinforce desired behaviors that are happening during this episode. Okay? The animals and the behavior at this center are extremely important to me. I'm just saying that because only one time have I had somebody complain on Coffee with the Critters that I wasn't delivering content fast enough. And my response was, it's not about you. It's about, hi, Sam. It's about the animals here at the center. And I also told her, I never reinforce behavior I don't want to see maintain or increase. So if you're not happy here, hi, Sam. Hello. Yeah. So anyways, I'm saying that because as I start to answer your questions, I may get interrupted. Hi, Sam. I may get interrupted. Hi, Sam. Reinforcing a behavior I want to see. Hi, Sam. Maintain or increase. And it also really helps me focus on my attention level, which I've noticed I've been doing very well. Okay. So I'm going to address Ginger's question. And here we work with all species of animals. It's not necessarily the animal we focus on. We do educate in the science of behavior. So if somebody asks a question pertaining to a certain species, put whatever species in your head, okay? So Ginger's asking, what is the best way to handle a very aggressive macaw? My question would be carefully. I'm kidding, Ginger. Not really. I'm not kidding. No matter what the species I'm working with, if it's labeled as aggressive, and some animals could easily be labeled as aggressive, the first thing I'm going to look at is what's the reinforcer behind the aggression. You'll hear me use the word reinforcer versus reward. If that behavior serves a purpose for the animal, it's going to continue or increase. We need to identify why it's happening. Once we identify why it's happening, then we have the tools to start changing it. A lot of times, I will start changing behavior without yet being able to identify what the reinforcer is behind the undesired behavior. But I'm going to try to find out what that reinforcer is as fast as possible, because as soon as I can, I can start changing behavior faster. When I'm changing behavior, I'm working with differential reinforcement. I'm working with it right now with ROCKY. I'm just not working with it very well. Differential reinforcement is when you and we talk about this. This is in our behavior change plan. I'm working with differential reinforcement in every behavior change plan. In every behavior change plan, I'm also working with enrichment. So we're just talking about this in the Parrot Project right now, about working with usually behaviors labeled as aggressive are based out of fear. When you're working with prey animal, especially prey animal that are in enclosures and not able, their choices are limited. You want to make sure you're moving at the animal's pace, not yours. If there are behaviors such as aggression, labeled as aggression, such as opening the mouth, growling, opening the mouth, getting ready to bite, if that works for the animal, it's going to maintain or increase. Most times you're moving too fast for the animal, okay? And it's a lot of fear-based. This is why we always suggest target training in the beginning. You guys heard me talk last week on Coffee with the Critters about target training a primate that was a heavy resource guarder. I started with a long stick. Now, a lot of times, if you're starting with a long stick, why didn't I do this in the house? If you're starting with a long stick, a lot of times you're working with animals. These are animals in enclosures, or if I'm working with a dog that's labeled as aggressive, be careful towering over them. I will always start off with off contact or protective contact training. Off contact, like I showed in this photo with Lindsay. Off contact is where there is no physical contact with the animal. There are so many times I work with different animals, especially within wildlife rehab centers or zoo environment where I don't know that particular animal. I don't care if it's a turkey vulture and I'm familiar with working with turkey vultures. I don't care if it's other species of animals and I have a lot of experience working with that species. Let me try to change my tone of voice. Hi, Sam. Hi, Sam. Hi, Sam. Someone just scared Milo. I don't care if I'm familiar with working that species. Hi, Sam. I will always approach that animal carefully in observing its environment. Because number one, hi, Sam. I don't know its history of how it's been interacted with. So I will sit back and observe, and then I start approaching and using positive reinforcement, trying to identify positive reinforcers. I will start protect at contact training. No interaction or no physical contact at all. A lot of times I work from a distance and I can throw reinforcers. Every time I walk by a cage, I just drop a positive reinforcer in a dish, keep on walking. That's usually where I begin. We were just talking about this. We were just talking about this in the Parrot Project yesterday because we are talking about how to shape a beak target and a flip target and how to get the animal to understand the difference between touching it with his beak or foot. Hi, Sam. Boy, sorry about the noise, guys. If the animal is being put in a defensive position, read that behavior. What's up, Rocky? It's really key to understand behavior, meaning reading body language. Okay, body language is behavior. It's so extremely important. We just gave the example last week about how animals are primarily reading your body language. They are not paying attention necessarily to what's coming out of your mouth. A lot of the cues are visual. So if the animal is being put into a defensive position, you're taking too big of steps in your shaping plan. And some of the most common things I see, two biggest steps in shaping plan. Your bridge is off, okay? Your bridge is a sound or signal that tells the animal that particular behavior is what's earning you the reinforcer that's getting ready to come. So a bridge could be, I use the word good. With my deaf dog, it's a thumbs up. With my deaf and blind dog, it's a tap on the chest. With Cello, our roller pigeon, a lot of times there's nothing coming out of my mouth when I'm training him. So my bridge would be this. Ask him to come. Ask him to come. And then my bridge is this. My hand moving towards the treat pouch. And a lot of times people's hands will start moving towards the treat pouch, anticipating the completion of a behavior, but the animal hasn't finished it. If you're already moving your hand, you're communicating to the animal, that's the particular behavior that's getting ready to earn your reinforcement. And that can be very confusing to an animal. If you're working with an aggressive animal, an animal labeled as aggressive, that can actually reinforce aggressive behaviors. Watch the live stream last Sunday's Coffee with Critters. So I think your name was Ginger. I can't remember. It's back in the feed. use positive reinforcement. Very nice, Rocky. Very good. Make sure you're accurately using positive reinforcement. If you're interested in knowing more about working with an aggressive bird, we talk about that. We're talking about it right now in the Parrot Project. So a lot of times people think reinforcers are only food. What's the behavior I'm getting behind me? Nice job, Rock. Nice job. I'm using differential reinforcement, which means extinguishing one behavior or extinguishing all behaviors while reinforcing another. Okay, I'm extinguishing, hopefully the scream means ignoring it, while reinforcing an alternate desired behavior. Hey, Crystal, thanks. Okay, good, Ginger, hopefully that helps. Identify reinforcers. A lot of people get very confused. Even more experienced people have a hard time identifying reinforcers. There's a verbal antecedent that a scream's getting ready to start. What are my reinforcers I'm using? Hey, Rocky, what are you doing? I see you. What are you doing? Is the scream changing? Peekaboo. Peekaboo. What are my reinforcers? Everybody. What reinforcers am I using? You can fine-tune your training skills through training exotics. Peekaboo. Oh boy, Rock. Nice job. Thanks, Daphne. It makes Coffee with the Critters very interesting. Hang on, I gotta reinforce the hell out of this. Hi, Rocky. Very nice. Are you ready to be a superstar? Huh? Yes, you. What behavior change am I getting? I got the peekaboo. Yep. Good. Yep. Sandy says attention as a reinforcer. Colleen says attention. Let's get more specific. Okay, Nicole, awesome. Tone of voice. Yep. Susie Chen says turning around and talking to him. Absolutely. You mocking the bird. Absolutely, Julie. Mocking the bird. Watch what, yep. Daphne says attention, tone of voice, calls as you, yep, clapping. Okay, see how he's starting, can you hear how he's starting to get worked up again? Because I'm sitting here answering, yes, Melinda. Immediacy. I'm making eye contact. I'm turning around. Tone of voice. I'm mimicking him. Peekaboo, Rock, what are you doing? There's one I haven't seen anybody mention yet, and I just used it. That says interaction, yes. There's one other one that I'm using that nobody's mentioned yet. Peekaboo, Rock. What are you doing, Rocky? Very good. This should be a clue. The amount of time you're staring at the back of my head. More talking, less, yep. I'm starting to slowly get softer. So I'm shaping. Eye contact. Edie says his name. Yep. And he loves to hear how beautiful he is, but I still haven't heard anybody say this one. That is so beautiful, Rocky. That is beautiful. How much time are you spending staring at the back of my head? This is an important one because I'm shaping. You got it, Colleen. Yes, that is exactly what I was looking for. Yes, The S and disc. And wow, Colleen, you just made my day. I'm about ready to start crying because somebody nailed it on the head. Kendall, absolutely. Kendall says the size of the attention of the reinforcer. That is the S in disc, the amount of time I'm turning around. That's why I said the key should be the amount of time you're staring at the back of my head. I'm bigger behavior, because he hasn't screamed and he's sitting here talking and talking. The bigger the behavior, the bigger the reinforcer, the more amount, increased period of time. Daddy's very good. Very good. So that S is the amount of time I'm turning around. Now I'm going to start putting it on a variable schedule of reinforcement. Yes, length of time, size, that was awesome. Okay, so that is so important. And those of you in our memberships and projects hear me talk about disc all the time. Run through them. The S in disc is the size. So, trying to think of something I can translate real quick. Now what do I have? It's really hard. Well, it's not hard. It can be tricky to train silence or to reinforce silence. Hey, Anna. What do I have now? Have I just changed behavior? So I turned around to see what he was doing. He's now playing with a toy. So I chose not to verbally reinforce that period of silence because it was a last-minute decision for me to say, if I talk to him now, he's already gone on to another behavior that is desirable, that he obviously is finding reinforcing. If I chose to verbally reinforce him playing with a toy, I could actually punish the behavior of him playing with the toy. And here we go. Hi. Hi, Rob. Nice job. Does that make sense? Is length of time used to manipulate his volume mood? As I am used to? Or is that more value in training? That's a good question. Let me think about that, Margaret. Oh my goodness. Thank you. So I'm changing my reinforcer by just throwing in something completely different, because with predictability can come boredom. With boredom can come the screaming again. So I was being a little unpredictable. No, I wasn't. I was adding in variety. Yes. Variety of reinforcers can keep a behavior very strong, such as variety, feeding, using Quincy sit, I give you a piece of hot dog. Quincy down, I give you a piece of chicken. Quincy come, I give you a piece of dog treat. That's a variety in reinforcers. What I'm doing right now is variety in reinforcers. Take a look at you, Rob. Hello, Sam. You gonna ring your bell? Okay, let me take a look at Margaret's question again. Hi, Rock. Continuous schedule reinforcement. Hi, Rocky. I think it's good. Hello. Is length of time. Hi. Now I'm going to continuously reinforce a softer tone of voice. That's right, Rocky. What, Rocky? So now I'm manipulating the eye environment. What's wrong? I'm not even turning around. I'm seeing if tone of voice is a reinforcer. That's right, Rocky. I like that tone of voice. That's right, Rock. Oh, yeah. Hi, Rock. This may take me some time. I'm never going to be able to finish Coffee with the Critters. Is length, I love you. Is length of time used to manipulate? Oh, sure. Length of time is used, or is it more value in training? You know what, Margaret? It's both. It's both. Hey, Sue. That's my friend Sue. Hi, Rocky. Let's do some other training. You guys want to see me train something, or do you have another question? Peekaboo, Rock. Tickle, wickle, wickle. So, we work with numerous species here, and we're constantly training, teaching animals to move and shift voluntarily. Stay on your station. Don't get off your X. Stay there until cued to do otherwise, because a lot of these animals, we can't have them out together. They can, it can be a very dangerous place to be. That's why people call us and say, I'm just going to stop over and talk to you. And it's like, you're not going to get us. I'm not going to open that door, because I definitely don't want to reinforce undesired behavior. We're by appointment only locally, and we don't even really do most of our work locally. We don't do barely any work locally. It's all online. Because you walk through those doors, it can be a very dangerous place to be. All right? We need to have control over all the animals in our environment. There's an animal, you guys might be aware, that lives in our center, very dangerous, would attack anybody that walked in the front door. That is why she is here for training. So what do we do instead? We teach her to go to a station, and food comes from that state, or not food, positive reinforcers come from that station. And the more she goes to that station, the more positive reinforcers will be delivered. So if we need to get somebody in the front door, she's staying on the station. Okay? We just started doing this yesterday. And this, we started doing this years ago. But I was working with volunteer Lindsay Douglas yesterday, and she's like, I'm having a problem with this animal, because this animal would attack her if it had the chance, but it keeps coming to this door. And I said, why wouldn't it? Therese is on here? Where did I see Therese? I didn't see Therese. Hi, Therese. Why wouldn't she keep coming to the door? Because what's happening is when she comes to the door and you need to get out, you throw treats to her at a distance to get her to go away. So this is where applied behavior analysis is very important. You're always watching behaviors and documenting, is this behavior increasing or is it decreasing? Hi, Rocky. Haven't heard a scream in a while. What you doing, Rocky? So she was like, all right, so what do you suggest we do? And I said, we did this with Quincy, our Rottweiler, who's right beside me. I brought Quincy and Milo out today in case you guys want to see some dog or kids training. Peekaboo, Rock. So we did this with Quincy too. We are now doing it with, yeah, right, Rock, a turkey vulture, okay? I said, your plan should be, if you guys could see, if I stand up and look out 2 sets of windows, her station, which is a perch that stands about as tall as me, whenever that perch is put there on purpose so it can be easily seen from this room. And I told her, I said, every time you see her go to that station, go out and toss her a mouse or a half a mouse. Keep your reinforcers lined up. This turkey vulture wants nothing to do with Lindsay, so attention, interaction, anything like that, hey Valerie, will not work because you don't have a relationship, a trusting, working, positively reinforced base relationship with this animal. Not sure I just wanted to reinforce a tone of voice. And I just did because I just looked at him. So anyways, what she started seeing, she comes back in, she goes, all right, she ate, thank you, Rock. She ate the mouse immediately. And I said, now what? And she goes, she's back on her station. I said, you better reinforce it. So she took a mouse back out, gave it to her. I think she went through 5 mice and 4 smelt. So 9 times of reinforcement. Willie will not come to the door if she's not hungry, unless she wants to stalk you, that could be the case too. So her behavior plan worked. Another thing is to set the environment up for success. Okay. Karen called me one time. I was in the house. Sorry. I was too busy focusing on content here versus behavior behind me that is now getting out of control again. She said, Willie keeps going to the very nice, Rocky. I see your butt. Better be careful with that. When I say I see your butt, that usually means time to get rowdy. Let's play. Thanks, Rico. Anyways, she's like, Willie keeps going to the training room door. First thing I identify is reinforcer behind the undesired behavior. Volunteers cannot get out the front door. And I was like, okay, identify reinforcer. I said, what is she doing when she's standing at the front door? Very pretty, Rocky. Thank you. That is so beautiful. Thank you. And she's like, she's just staring at the reinforcers. She's just staring at the volunteers. And I said, is her perch sitting outside the window? And she said, no. And I said, I'll be right out. So I identified the reinforcer. She wanted to see the people. So I took a perch and stuck it over by a window to make it easier for her to see the people. So it removed her from the door, took her around the corner, and she stared in front of the windows. And that is why she always has a perch in front of those windows. If she cannot see the people, she's going to go to the door. She goes to the door, you're not getting out of that room. Well, you can through the back door. Let's see. Emily, good morning. I'm a board-certified behavior analyst in Virginia and love how well you speak accurately, non-technical language. Thanks, Emily. That's our intention. It's our intention here. We teach people how to understand behavior through working with animals using applied behavior analysis, and we put it on everyday terms. So thank you for that, Emily. Yeah, and Kim says, so important to always set your animal up for success. We are always setting animals up for success. Make it very easy to do the behavior you want. Let me do some training real quick. Okay, one of the first things I will tell anybody to do is just observe the animal. Watch what it's moving towards, what it's moving away from, because what it's moving towards are positive reinforcers. What it moves away from are things that are boring, have little reinforcement value, or things it's afraid of. And I definitely don't want to be pairing myself with anything it's afraid of. So what I tell people to do, if you're working with an animal that wants to be with you, you've got attention on your side as a reinforcer. The more intense the behavior issues, the more likely attention is not going to be a reinforcer. Sometimes I think I should have gotten into botany. Plants don't yell and scream at you. They don't bite you unless it's a Venus flytrap. Oh, what have I done to deserve this? playing with toy. Okay. One of the first things I always tell people to do, identify reinforcers. Virtually take those reinforcers, stick them in your pocket. Not all of them, but the longer your list, the more you can stick in your pocket. Put attention in your pocket. Put play in your pocket. Put items in your pocket. Put curiosity in your pocket. Those temperature in your pocket. Those are all reinforcers or punishers, okay? And then start delivering them every time you walk by. Then you're setting something up called a conditioned reinforcer, which is also a cue. What that means is I am paired with this every single time. The longer I work with animals, pretty soon it doesn't take long before just the opportunity to be with me, on me, near me, verbal contact, visual contact with me is a reinforcer for the animal, okay? That's through training. Because if that animal can see, hear, smell, or feel you, you are training it whether you realize it or not. The key question is, what are you training it to do? Thanks, Nikki. Nikki says, it's amazing how emotionally happy your flock is. Very clear. Thank you. Okay, let me show you something. One of the first things I do is target train for numerous reasons. It's the beginning recall. You can safely get an animal to move from point A to point B without having to touch it. Let me show you the value of a target. Okay, it's our target stick. It comes out at no other time but when we're ready for training. The more dangerous the animal, the longer this target stick gets. To put distance between me and the animal until I know the animal clearly understands my intention. That is the only reason I train. I train because it is the best form of communication I have found with an animal. So I can teach an animal like Milo, touch your nose to this, touch your butt to this. If I can get you to touch your butt to this, I can slowly start lifting up your tail. Then I'm going to teach you to stay there, and then I'm going to take your temperature. That is a series of shaping. Anyways, a lot of times, I can show pictures of different target training. I train very pretty, Rock. Touch to my hand, touch your nose to my hand, touch your butt to my hand, touch your toe to my finger, touch your foot to my hand. The importance of teaching foot targets. Let me show you how I target train, let's just say Quincy, just for ease. Okay? Quincy's our Roddy who's sitting right beside me, patiently waiting to be trained. Let me put a treat pouch on real quick. Okay, so I've already cued her that the training is going to start because I went and put my treat pouch on. All right, so she just gave me a target that I didn't ask for. Anybody want to guess what it is? Peekaboo. Okay, so here's some quick examples. Oh, good. So see, they're reading your body language. They're reading your behavior. Nothing even came out of my mouth. I was talking with my hands and she took it as a cue. All right, so I taught her, touch her nose to my hand. Good. See how my hand does not move until the word good comes out of my mouth? Good. Good. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple of different ways you can use a target to get the behavior you want. All right, let's say I want her to go into that crate. Okay, so I'm going to put her in a sit position off screen, stay. There's a good chance she's going to run in that crate as soon as I open it because I allowed that to happen. She just stood up, sit, stay. So let me shape this sit. Good. Good. Okay. Our animals get excited to go into crates because we've trained them. The crates are happy places or good things come. Good. Good things come in the crate. But say she wasn't crate trained, okay? And I want to start doing a crate. Stay. Touch. Good. Nothing like being crated with a tripod, right? Touch. Good. I want her out. Touch. Good. Okay, now I'm going to show you something. This is why I'm saying target train your bird, your porcupine, your giraffe, your alligator. Yes, you can target train alligators. We do it. It's a lot of fun. All right, so good. Training a sit is a target. I want 2 butt cheeks on the floor. Now I'm going to show you. I just recently trained this to her because I was looking for more complex things to train. I put her in a down position, but I never trained her to go from a down to a sit. So I was just like, how am I going to do this? I was like, oh, she's already target trained. Let's do that. So I'm going to put her in a down position. Okay. Now I have a target, so I can get her to go into a sit on cue and then fade out the target. Touch. Good. That didn't go exactly how I planned. Let me see if I can fine tune that in the live stream. Because she stood up and then she sat. I want her to go straight into a sit. Touch. Good. And it is where I place my hand. I put it closer to her to reach, not too high that she has to go into a sit. Good. I mean, not too high that she has to go into a stand and then sit. Because the first time I did this, watch. I placed my target up high. Touch. Good. See, my target up high taught her, hey, Sandy. Hey, what happened to my well-trained dog? You smell good? You want to come back on screen with me? Okay, so it's the placement of my hand. If I put my hand low, using environmental events to control behavior, good. She doesn't have to stand to go into a sit. Nice job. So there you go. Okay. Anyways, sorry, I'm a little over. No, I'm not. I'm right on time. And I know I didn't get to answer all questions. What I do after this is I go inside and I review Coffee with the Critters and I start answering questions. Adrian says, I love that she is totally focused on me. Thanks, Adrian. I know you got 2 dogs of your own. I've been training Quincy since she was 5 months old. She was not mine. I didn't even know she was mine. The breeder brought a litter of pups over. So what kind of treats do I use to target train birds? Whatever the bird likes. You know, a lot of people think whatever I'm doing, whatever I'm using is a magical treat. It's not. It's whatever the bird wants. Sam will not work for pine nuts. His is walnuts, almonds, whatever the animal likes. I will work with whatever the animal is always the one that determines the reinforcers. But we do use a lot of pine nuts for the birds. Okay. So anyways, I know for those of you that are interested, I want to give a huge thank you for those that are members and subscribers to the Parrot Project. This is what we do all the time on a weekly basis. In our level 1 is primarily focused for domestic animals in people's homes. At 1 o'clock today, we're doing a live stream on a resource garter with a dog. Level 2 is more for people who want more intense understanding of applied behavior analysis, working with numerous species of animals. There's a lot of professional trainers in there, but definitely not limited to. And then we have the Parrot Project, which is focused on parrots. But anyways, take a look at those. You can find those. Hey, Lisa, you are on here. So you can find those on our website, which is theanimalbehaviorcenter.com. Also, if you want to sign up for our email newsletter list, we try to send that as much as possible, where there's content in every single newsletter. And that is me doing our newsletters myself. And if you need to reach me, you can always reach me at laura@theanimalbehaviorcenter.com. My next workshop coming up is in Montreal at the beginning of February. So with that said, thank you guys for another episode of Coffee with the Critters. Thanks, Therese, for putting up the link to the memberships. Valerie is a new member, level 1, I believe. No, level 2, level 2 member. And in the Parrot Project, thank you. Thank you. So a lot of times people say it pays off within the first week. So as for next week, Coffee with the Critters, I don't know. Just stay tuned. I'll give you updates on whether if we're on the commercial shoot, I'll try to throw something in somewhere. All right. Happy New Year, everybody. Here's to knowing better and doing better.